Okay, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I feel very privileged in the sense that I'm able to unbox a copy of Star Wars Shatterpoint. So I'm here at my local gaming store, Tabletop Republic in High Wycombe, who have got their demo copy, which is this one right here. And they've very kindly let me open it, have a look at what's inside, and then see all the fun and games. So yeah, check out the website, great shop, loads of gaming tables that they've got here. A massive Star Wars Legion following already. And I know we've got some Legion tournaments coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we've got a fully sold out Legion tournament in June. And then we've just put online a 24 player Worlds qualifier for November. So if you do happen to be in the Berkshire sort of area, absolutely come and check out the shop. It's a lovely little place. Alternatively, check out the website. We've got some great deals on there. Loads of stuff reduced off of RRP, so great discounts available. So Star Wars Shatterpoint. So I've really been looking forward to this ever since it was announced. Well, only feels like a year ago, but feels like a long time ago. So initial impressions, the box is big. So you're definitely bigger than a Legion box, like a Legion core set. Definitely bigger than a kind of Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is probably the closest comparison to it. But yeah, the box is definitely huge, which is always a good sign. Loads of goodies then inside of it. On the back, we get just a quick look at what's inside it. So we've got Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, Maul, Gar Saxon, Ventress, some battle droids, Anakin, Kalani, Rex. Sorry, that's Bo-Katan. The Mandalorians, clones, and then the Mandalorian Super Commanders as well. So yeah, still in the cellophane, which is awesome. Let's pop this open and see what is inside of it. So I've got my copy is on pre-order from Tabletop Republic, so hopefully looking to pick that up on the 2nd. I was fortunate enough to have a demo of this over at Salute in April, so I did have a bit of a see what was there. But yeah, I really like the artwork they've got on the outside of kind of the Clone Wars animation almost. Have absolutely nailed what they've done there. So let's pop the top off and see what we are going to get. Go on, man. Oh, wow. So, leave that up there. No, leave that down there. So, Star Wars Shatterpoint. We've got this cool artwork that runs all the way around the outside. So we've got obviously the good guys, just a list of who's who. And we've got the bad guys. So these look a lot like the promotional material that AMG used for sort of Facebook and Instagram, things like that. But it's really cool. And then we've got this nice little backdrop, which is, oh, look at this. So yeah, it's cool little like art background. So it shows you how to kind of take some photos of your models, which is pretty cool. So Star Wars Shatterpoint art backdrop. So that's really cool because obviously not something that everyone has either access to or potentially wants to buy, but from a really nice to kind of include that in the core box. So I don't know, actually, this potentially, I'm assuming this isn't just in demo copies, but we've then got the, I guess the artwork that kind of joins it as well. So if you want to take some cool photos of your models when you painted them, this will just fold here. I suppose I should probably read the instructions first to make sure that I don't do something wrong. But yeah, it's like kind of use a ruler and fold along it, which is pretty nice. So not something that you get in a lot of games, really. Something you've normally got to buy as a bit of an extra. Tokens. So we know that Atomic Mass Games love tokens. So you've got the damage markers, wound markers, objective tokens, hunker tokens, different status tokens, all there. And then we've got the core rules. So whether these will be, I don't think these should be any different than the ones that they released online. Obviously, the only difference I've noticed so far is that the date isn't here, which is great. But otherwise, look, full colour rules, which is awesome. Yeah, really nice. And then I suppose we get to the proper good stuff under here. So we've got what I can only describe as a lot of plastic. So we've got plastic, and then we've got, if you've learned anything from any other Atomic Mass games, inserts, just always check under the cardboard. Marvel Crisis Protocol fans will get that one. But we've got more plastic, more plastic, more plastic. Sounds like there's one or two things in there that have come off of a sprue. And then another. So we've got our dice, our tracker for the struggle. We've got our cards. And we've got our struggle marker. So that is everything in the box. So we can stick this all back in here. Because this isn't the part that we're most interested about. Let's be honest. So we've got, you'd hope that there was some sense to what's in the 3 bags, but there might not be at all. So in bag number 1, we've got terrain sprue. So loads and loads of terrain coming in the core set, which is really nice. And like quite nicely detailed as well. So not just your bog standard like 4 walls and a door kind of thing. We've got some more, there's me dropping stuff already. That's movement tool. So some more, obviously more terrain. And we've got the ladders and stuff, which are obviously going to play a massive part in the game. But that looks really, some really nice stuff there. Let's put these rulers all to one side. Third sprue of terrain. I think this is exactly the same as that first sprue. So probably the other side of walls, doors, stuff like that. So yeah, those two. Yeah, so we've got 2 sprues in there, both exactly identical as one another. Ooh. And then we've got all our measuring tools, our measuring sticks. So we've got the long movement tool there, short movement tool, and then range 2, range 3, range 4 and range 5. And these are really nicely textured. If people hadn't seen before, they've got some cool little texturing on it. Mixes up a little bit just from a normal. That's obviously really nice with a gun shooting range 5. So it's nice that it's not just like a little bit of plastic. Range 2, which is obviously melee range. The lightsaber discussion there. So that is in the first bag. So obviously we are, when are we getting this? In a couple of weeks time, official release in the UK. The start of June, which is going to be obviously very lovely. This one looks like it's got figures in, so we'll leave that one until last, because this one looks like lots more terrain and lots more bases. So I can already see this is the kind of thing that once it's out of the box isn't going back in the bag very easily at all. Let's start with bases, because these are always nice. So we've got 4 of the 40mm bases, and then 2 of the larger bases. I'm hoping that we see quite a few different designs for these. So if you're a Marvel Crisis Protocol player, you get the same 4 bases all the time. So hopefully it's something that we see a bit more variation of. But these are quite nice looking. Obviously, it looks like it could be like inside, like an interior, and then also a bit of an exterior as well. So loads of different options for customizing your bases, but we've got 4 of them entirely the same, and then 2 of those larger bases which are going to be for your battle droids, and then loads and loads more terrain. So there's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sprues in this bag full of terrain. We'll start with the simplest one. So we've got the ladders and then the crate. So it looks like they just push fit together. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 crates. Some ladders. And then we've got, well, these are, that's just a little, the little Loth cat there. That's quite cool. With obviously some, not 100% sure what these are. Guessing like side panels or railings for stuff, things like that. So obviously a bit of a base. More terrain. So we'll get some photos up as we go, but more terrain. And then we get some more, like the detail is just lovely, like for what is ultimately terrain. And terrain is my least favourite part of any sort of wargaming experience. I'm the kind of guy that just likes to paint my models and play with them, not necessarily do too much with terrain. And then we get 2 sprues, like, or 2 what are like almost gates and walkway sprues. So obviously we get full instructions of how to put them together, all found in the manual, but I'm sure with a little bit of common sense you might be able to figure it out. And then obviously top platforms here, because something will sit on the top there. But just from a detail perspective, it's so much more detailed than you probably would expect to find in any normal core set, and it certainly feels like 101,000 more bits of terrain than you find in any other ones. We've got obviously legs, and then legs as well. So that is the second bag. So make sure I don't get these mixed up, otherwise they won't get back together. So in the final bag, so this looks like amazingly, we've got some more terrain in here. So terrain. And I've heard that they are all on sprues, so plastic glue should be okay, or any sort of liquid poly, which is what I'll be using, if not then a bit of super glue. But just the absolute detail on these is lovely, even to like battle damage and things like that. Yeah, beautiful. So 2 more sprues of terrain, which are, yeah, and I like the fact they're quite generic, and it gives you the option to probably paint them up however you'd really like. It doesn't have to feel like they've got to be like forest themed or city themed or anything like that. And then two sprues of figures, which is probably a little less than you'd have expected for 16 characters, I think, in the core set. But these are looking quite small. I was going to say in a perfect world this will all be one faction, but it's not, because I've seen droids here and Anakin here. So yeah, but even like the detail on here, obviously they're slightly bigger than Legion figures, which should make some of it a little bit more easy to put together, but also it could quite easily be a bit more difficult. I'm just looking at Maul. It's got Maul there. See if I can get a close up on his face. Is that gonna? There. It's probably as close as I'm gonna get. Some really nice detail on him. Really nice. And then Ventress. So it might look a little bit overwhelming, because there are, if I look at the battle droids, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different pieces. Yeah, it looks like 10 different pieces, but they're obviously big enough that if you just take your time, take some care, they should fit together quite nicely. And then the slightly bigger scale also means They're probably a little bit easier to paint than some of the either Legion stuff or anything else. And then onto the, so this will have clones on, Ahsoka I can see on here. And I really like the combination options that you get. So, for example, like Gar Saxon, you get the option for his like sniper rifle or his pistol and shield. You've got obviously the two head options there. You've got helmeted and non-helmeted, which is really awesome. So I think from a flexibility to kind of make things look however you want, AMG have really knocked it out of the park. Just trying to see if I can see Rex, because I know Rex is another one that's got a couple of different options. I see clones. See clone. He's probably on here. I'm just completely missing him. And then we've got Ahsoka's head there. So the patterns on a sort of face and a Leku are, it's a bit hard to see on camera, but there is a bit of a distinct, there is like an outline to them, so it's pretty easy to see where the paint should be and things like that. So even for a novice painter, almost, my advice is kind of paint between the lines and you'll be absolutely fine. Got a struggle tracker, which feels surprisingly chunky for what is ultimately cardboard. Doesn't feel like it's going to bend, doesn't feel like it's going to break anytime soon, which is lovely. And then we're not going to do a play-by-play through of all the cards, but we have got cards here. I have got to check out the sizes, because I believe that the things like the mission cards, the order cards, and the stance cards are all the same size as what would have been a Star Wars Armada ship back in the day. It looks that sort of size, but I've got some sleeves at home that I'll check that out tomorrow. But obviously a lot of these mission cards won't have been seen, so we'll probably have a bit more of an in-depth view over the next couple of days about what's there. But I will just show off the artwork for all this stuff, because I do love the artwork on these things. So we've got Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, Mandalorians, Anakin, Rex, 5 of First Clones, Maul, Saxon, Mandalorian Super Commandos, Ventress, Kalani, and B1s. Like, I just think the artwork on these is awesome. And then obviously the 2 Shatterpoint cards, which is really nice to see. And then all the different stance cards. We've got the 2 for Ahsoka. Obviously, not the 1 for Ahsoka, even back to front. Opposite sides, Bo-Katan, Mandalorians, Anakin, Rex. So we've seen most of these in panels of plays, but obviously very nice. And then on the back side of them, just if anyone's wondering, it's just a Star Wars Shatterpoint kind of logo. And then we get the unit cards. So the unit cards, I'm going to say, also are exactly the same size as the Marvel Crisis Protocol unit cards. Hopefully making sleeves a bit easier for people. But we've got Mandalorians, Anakin Skywalker, Rex, clones, Lord Maul, Saxon, Super Commandos, Ventress, Kalani, B1s. So that right there, we're not gonna go through the. Now let's have a look. We've got a bit of time. So we've obviously got the rules. So I'm hoping at some point in here, we've got obviously some appendixes. Obviously these have been available now for a couple of weeks, so it's been great to have a read through and get to understand some of it a bit. The only thing we haven't got in here is how to make it. It's how to make it all. So obviously they've released that as a individual kind of PDF that you can download from the AMG website, but a little surprised that they haven't got the how to make stuff included in here. But I guess it's quite nice for you to either do demo games or go to your mate's house and show, hey, these are the rules. Don't worry about the size of how thick it is, because you don't have to pay attention to half of it, because half of it is actually just how to put stuff together. So yeah, that is everything that comes in the core set. That's the full unboxing. Again, a massive shout out to Tabletop Republic in High Wycombe for letting me unbox this on their behalf. I'm looking forward to getting to make some stuff, paint it, and do some demo games over the next couple of weeks before the launch date on the start of June. And then we'll be back, I'm sure, in the next week or two with a bit more in-depth look at the models when they're all made, and then some more in-depth stuff about the cards. But anyway, thanks for checking it out. If you're still here, thank you very much. It's much appreciated. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share if you think it's quite useful. I'm hoping that we're going to bring a lot of Shatterpoint content from Tabletop Republic over the next couple of months, including things like battle reports and unboxings of expansions and bits like that when they do come in stock. But yeah, thanks for checking it out.